This is Richard Gallion, Director of Nursing for Voyager Home Healthcare. Today we'll be orientating on Section 7, Access, Documentation, and Client Privacy. I am also a BSN nurse, have a master's degree in an unrelated nursing field. I've worked at Mayo Clinic, University of Minnesota, Children's Hospital, worked in the PICU, NICU, CVICU, worked in float pool ICU, oncology, transplant floors, pediatrics, adults, older adults, mental health, mood disorder clinics, and many other places as well. Today we're going to start with looking at Access, which is our electronic management system we use at Voyager. You can get to Access by typing in www.access.com and then either putting that straight into the URL up top here or Googling it. Access is a great electronic management system, most easiest used on a laptop. Otherwise, you can use a smartphone as well, and they do have an Access app that might make things a little bit more easy. But either on a smartphone or the computer, you can go straight to www.access.com. After you've been hired and we've placed you into the system, and you'll be notified of this, you can check the email that you gave to us or that you've been using. Now, I have the email sent to me, however, I don't see it under my primary tab. Sometimes it might be there, sometimes it won't be. So you can either go and look under your spam area on Gmail, also look under your social and promotions, and you will find it on Gmail under your promotions depending on what privacy settings you do have. Now, Access will send you two emails. One, which is the second email, will give you a video about Access, which you can watch if you like. It will tell you a little bit more. The important email is the first email, even though they look identical. First email will say hello, your name, and then it'll talk a little bit about what's going on, and mostly to complete your account setup, simply click the button below. Now, you only get one chance to do this unless it's reset, unless Voyager leadership has to reset everything. So try and get this correctly the first time, and I would also try and do it on your laptop at least the first time. Log in, make it everything a lot more easy. So you can click on Let's Go, and it will bring you to a Activate Account screen. It'll have the agency name, and it'll say to change your password/signature, follow the steps below. You will not be changing your password or signature. This will be you creating it for the first time. I'll say note, your electronic signature will be the same as your new password. This just means the password you're currently going to create, when you have everything finished and you're creating and you're finishing or filling out a note for the client the first time, at the very bottom of the note it'll ask for your password. Well, your password will ask for your signature, and your signature is a password. So the password you're going to create right now will be a password you will also use in the system quite often. So once again, it'll say enter a new password. This is going to be the first time you've ever used a password before, so create a password and put it somewhere where you remember in your head. And then it's going to have me confirm my password, and I will activate my account. After you activate your account, it'll bring you into our system for the first time. It'll say to ensure your compliance, you will want to put in your cell phone number, and then it will have you go through an activation sequence so you can verify your number. I'm not going to be doing this for learning purposes, so I'm going to skip now, but please do this and verify your number the first time you log in. And so you will see a screen here into the Access homepage. I would like to start from scratch as if this is your second time logging in and finding the website. So once again, you would click on Access, the 2x's.com, put in the URL, or Google it, and you'll come up with the home health software. You'll click on this. Your login button will be on the top right, and it will say client login. Once you click that button, it will bring you into a login, and you will put in your username. Your username is the same username / email you used to create this account, so it will be an email, and the password is a password you already created. You will say secure logon, and then you will say OK. After you logged on, you will have a few different areas. One will be messages, if Access sends you a message, or if I do, or Voyager staff. Time, some video sometimes, some news. This is not Voyager news usually, so you do not have to go and click on it. And then the area you do want to look for is my scheduled tasks. So when you are going over to a client for a schedule, and let's say that today is 11/20/2016, so November 20th, 2016, and you're scheduled to work. Well, on here you will have your scheduled tasks, and these will say the patient you're working with. This is example patient, but it will say your patient, and all you have to do is click on it. It will bring you to an area where it talks a little about your patient, and then some more of your notes / documentations you'll be doing. Another way to get to this page is just going to the patient charts, and it'll also bring you there. Once again, I told you that today is November 20th, 2016, so let's go and fill out our note for our visit. We will come and click on the blue button. It will say, it will not say saved here. It will say task not started yet, but it does say saved on mine. We will click on it, and here will be your note. It will have the first part you do not change. The episode period, don't worry about that. Visit date will have the date it was scheduled, and then these two will be blank, but let's just say we started at 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., so you can just click on that and fill those in. So do not fill the travel start time, travel in time, associated mileage or surcharge, keep those blank, and then last BM date, last bowel movement if you know it. This is a HHA note, also known as a CNA note. There are homemakers, PCW, nursing notes, but this is generally how you perform the note overall. Sometimes they'll tell you about the primary and secondary diagnosis. You don't have to worry about vital sign parameters. It's just saying the parameters of the vital signs of the client, so you can always just click NA here. If you were told to do vital signs or it's part of the care plan, you can put the vital signs in here. If you don't have to do the vital signs every day or it's not part of the care plan and today's not one of those days, you can just click NA. You will have a bubble card area here. Now all you really have to know about this is you have to fill out the bubbles no matter what. If you either complete the task, the client refused it, or you did not complete the task /NA. So just going down really quick, for a client, did we do a bed bath? We'll say no today. Moving down here, did we shower the client today? We will say completed. We did that. We showered with the chair. We shampooed the hair. We combed her hair. We did not provide oral care, such as brushing her teeth, flossing, or mouthwash. Let's just say the client refused that. She wanted to do it herself. Now, no, if you did part of a task, just click completed, such as, let's say that, for instance, you help the client put on a coat. Well, that would mean that you helped assisted with dressing. You don't have to change your client 100% to say you did the task. If you did the task in one meaningful way or another, you can click completed. It's not a test. You don't have to score so high on how much of a task you did to say completed. You either did it or you did not. So we'll move down. We shampooed her hair. We combed her hair. We did not provide oral care. We did skin care. Let's say we put lotion on the client. We did pericare. Maybe we changed the client, or we washed her or him in the pelvis area when we did the shower, and that would be known as pericare. We did not provide nail care, and by cutting nails at Voyager, we can trim nails, put lotion on them. All those would be part of nail care. Once again, we did not cut nails. We did not shave, so we said NA. We assisted with that jacket, so we assisted with dressing and reminded about medications. Meal setup, we did provide that. We made her meal, and we also assisted with her eating her meal. We did not use a bedpan /urinal. We assisted with the BSC bedside commode, incontinence care, yes, if you did anything such as wiping, assist with the bedside commode, it's all incontinence care. We did not empty a drainage bag since that's more catheter care. We did record the bowel movement. We did not provide catheter care. We dangled at the side of the bed, which means they just sit at the side of the bed before they stand up to try and make it that they don't get lightheaded. We turn and position the client. We turn and position all clients that don't turn and position themselves every 2 hours. We assisted with the transfer. We assisted with ambulation, helped her walk, did some range of motion, and let's say that the client has a lift and we cleaned the lift. We changed the bed and we did some light house keeping, so we clicked on those. So then we'll move down to a section called comments. Now this will be blank, but for time purposes I already filled it out, and you can open this up and make it larger. Now this is your note. Now there's a few things we do with the note every single time. Notes in general take less than 5 minutes to complete. It's very easy unless there was a abnormal day. But you always start with that you received, who you received report from. We're saying we received report from Maya at 7 a.m. because we came here at 7 a.m. Now these are for clients who are 24/7 clients. Now mind you, some clients won't be 24/7 clients, so you won't say received report from Maya because Maya wasn't there. You'll just say I arrived at 7 a.m. Now for all your things, make sure you say times and what you did. Now besides the receiving report from, you need to say something that you did with the client every hour. And as you can see right here, I started at 7 a.m. I helped the client get ready for the day. 9 a.m. I helped client eat breakfast. 10 a.m. helped client go to the bathroom. 11 a.m. helped client or read client a book. 12 p.m. watched the news with the client. 1 p.m. gave client a hand massage. 2 p.m. gave client a snack. 3 p.m. helped client walk to the walker. 4 p.m. provide incontinence care. 5 p.m. 6 p.m. And then 7 p.m., how you always finish it, was greeted Maya, let's say another care worker, with the client and gave a report to Maya. So you can have very detailed notes or you can have the minimum amount of detail, but you have to say something you did with the client every hour. And then depending on who the client is, if the client is immobile or needs help walking or needs help being changed, you would also write that. So let's say an immobile client that needs help being changed and doesn't walk on their own, we would want to say turned, changed, and walk client every 2 hours, or turned client every 2 hours, depending on what the client's need is. But we do want to see that that client turned and changed and was changed and was walked if they're unable to do that on their own. If they are able to turn, change themselves, walk, all those different pieces, you don't have to write anything here. We also want to know about how much the client ate and drank. So I put down client ate all of her meals and client drank a total of 80 ounces of fluid during my shift. You could also write something along client drank 4 8-ounce glasses of water during the shift, or clearly we would need more than that. That wouldn't be that much, but something along that line. Then we want you to just write something overall about the day. It doesn't have to be too long, but on this one, we just put down client had a great day overall. She was anxious during 5 p.m. for 1 hour, and we just looked at old pictures until she felt better. Fantastic. So overall, that is your note, and that's all you have to write. Now, if something odd or emergent or an emergency happened, you'd also want to put that in the note. However, we'd want you to contact Voyager staff first so we could go over what we're going to put down on that note correctly. For instance, if the client fell, let's hope that never happens, but you wouldn't just want to write client fell and end your note. You'd want to put on the note client fell, contacted Voyager staff. Voyager staff asked if anything was wrong. Client says she was not hurt. Voyager staff came over with the nurse and checked on the client. Client is without pain, and Voyager staff clearly has been notified. That's why we want you to contact Voyager staff if something large happened, so that we can A, help, and B, make sure that you are citing the note correctly. Also, you can write down if anything otherwise odd happened in the note. Once again, you probably want to contact Voyager staff first, such as the family member's got a fight or something along that point. We are always objective when we write notes, not subjective. Objective is just writing what you saw, what people said exactly, not subjective. Just subjective would be what you saw, but what you kind of thought happened. You know, a client was emotional because you think she was having a bad day and you think she's worried about her child. That would be subjective. If you just wrote client was irritable and anxious and told me that she was worried about her child. That would be objective, because you're just stating what exactly you saw and what was stated. Now you clearly put down the date. The date is going to be the date that the note is due. I believe that was 11/20/2016. And clinician signature, that's your signature, and then that is going to be the signature is going to be the same password that you use to log in. So that signature is your password, and you'll put that down there. You always go and press save, and a green pop-up will happen, and then you can exit. If you do not save and you exit out, your note will not be saved.
It's always smart to save throughout the process, so if anything goes wrong, you do have it saved, because if anything does go wrong and you did not save the note, you're going to have to start all over. The other thing is, once you can save as many times as you want, but you're going to have to complete the note before everything is finished. Once you complete the note, then that note is finished, and then it will be brought up to leadership and the appropriate personnel to check that note. So make sure after you save, you always complete your notes when you are fully finished.
Once you complete, the note is untouchable. So that is how you perform your notes. Now, know this, notes are due on the date you are scheduled to work. So if you were scheduled for today at 11/20/2016 from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., sometime during that shift, you have to fill out that note. You cannot go and fill in your car after work, and you can't go home and fill it out. It has to be done during that time. And then no matter what happens, clearly that date, because it's done during your shift, is also going to be the same date that it was scheduled. Even if you're having a busy day, you have some time where you can spend 5 minutes to do your note. You can tell the client you need to go finish the note really quickly, if they could just give you a moment, so you can go and do your daily documentation, which is mandatory. Sometime when you have downtime, the note just has to be done. We take that very seriously on having notes being done on the date and time that they were due, which is the date and time you're with the client. Unless an emergency happens and you let us know, or you were told otherwise, this is how the note processes start. Now, mind you, you might ask, okay, I have to write something I did with the client every single hour. Well, what happens if it's night? Well, let's say you have a night shift. Once again, let's say you arrived at 7 p.m., 7 a.m., you filled all the bubble cards. However, how are you going to do something with the client when they're sleeping? Well, for instance, a night shift, we would say something along the lines of, received report from Maya at 7 p.m., because that's where you arrived. You did things at 8 p.m. with the client, 9 p.m., 10 p.m., you helped the client for bed. Now, clearly we're not going to do puzzles with the client when they should be sleeping or wake them up. So what we would write then, for instance, is 11 p.m. client was in bed with eyes closed. That means the client is sleeping. For Medicaid, Medicare purposes, we can never say client was sleeping. You just say client was in bed with eyes closed. 12 a.m. I checked on the client, no issues. 1 a.m. client was in bed with eyes closed. 2 a.m. checked on the client, no issues. And going the same thing over and over again. If the client's just sleeping and nothing's changing, you just say that you checked on the client was in bed with eyes closed, something along that matter. And then, of course, 7 a.m. gave report to Maya. Everything else is the same. We changed. We did not walk the client every 2 hours since she was asleep, but turned and changed the client every 2 hours. Client ate 100% of her meals, that could have meant her snacks, and she drank a total of 50 ounces of fluids during my shift because she wasn't drinking while she was sleeping, so it was less. Overall day, client had a great night, I should say, or client had a great day, slept well. And then anything odd or emergent, once again, follow the same rules, same thing, clinician's signature is your password, and then the date. Once again, you will say save, and then you can exit out there. Do not exit without saving, otherwise you'll have to do the note again. Some other things with your notes. You need to treat Access like you would treat your own individual personal bank account. You do not share your password. You do not let other people go on to your Access. The only person that should go on Access is you yourself as individual. Do not leave your computer open with Access where other people could be walking around and seeing your Access. This is the patient's notes. This is HIPAA. This is everything you can possibly think of in terms of privacy, and you want to take this seriously. Just like with the notes, anything that was said occurred at the client's house stays at the client's house. If you learn anything from the client's house, everything stays at the client's house. You may only speak about anything that happened in the client's house with Voyager leadership if appropriate. Be very serious on this, such as people have lost their jobs and licenses for posting stuff on social media. Even if you don't post the client's name, but you post something about the client and someone can figure out who you're speaking about based off what you stated, that is a HIPAA violation. So keep clients, their personal information, what you do with the clients off social media. Don't talk about anything that happened in the client's house with husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, anything. They're HIPAA violations, and we take this very seriously, including your access and how you're using access. So once again, don't leave it open. Don't store your password where someone else can see. Don't let anyone else on access, and take this very seriously. Also, you shouldn't be looking at other people's accesses as well. And you shouldn't be giving away your password or username to other people. And we do not show our clients anything on access either. If they want to see their access, they can contact Voyager leadership, and then we have a process for that. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate everything. After you're done and you saved, you can exit out, you can log out, and we're finished. So you have a wonderful day.